His tawny hair sleep-rumpled. I had to resist the urge to go over and run my fingers through it. It was more than a week ago I had suggested he crash on the air mattress here at what used to be Uncle Emmett's house, considering he was over all the time anyway, and I couldn't help worrying when he went home to his family's empty house at night. In spite of all my other concerns, I still felt a little giddy finding my boyfriend here each morning. "Hey," I said, and he glanced up and grinned. "Good morning, Kaelyn," Meredith crowed, bounding in from the dining room with an incredible amount of energy for a kid who'd just recovered from a deadly virus. I was starting to wonder if she was making up for all that time lying in a hospital bed by moving in constant fast forward. But seeing the healthy flush in her dark cheeks made me smile. She hopped up to peer into the pot of oatmeal. "Is there brown sugar?" "Meredith," I said, my giddiness fading. Gav held up his hand. "Not brown," he said, "but I can sprinkle on a little of the white stuff." Meredith's lower lip curled, but she pressed her mouth flat before it could turn into a pout and lifted her chin. "Awesome," she said. "Thank you, Gav." "I picked up an extra bag from the storage rooms," Gav said to me as Meredith scampered over to the dining room table. "Figured if anyone deserved a treat, it was her." "Thank you," I said. "And for breakfast, too." "Hey, I know you only keep me around for my cooking," he said. "And don't you forget it," I said. Slipping my arm around his waist, I leaned in for a kiss. Meredith snorted in amusement. As I released Gav, he started spooning the oatmeal into the bowls on the counter. The floor creaked behind him, and Leo emerged from the tiny downstairs bathroom, where he'd been washing up. He looked at us for a second with the uncertain expression I'd first seen when he came off the ferry, like he wasn't sure why he was even here. Then Gav turned, and the end of his serving spoon tapped Leo's arm. Leo flinched back, his hips smacking the counter's edge. "Crap," Gav said. "I'm sorry." Leo ducked his head and steadied himself with a hand on the counter. "I'm fine," he said. "Crazy reflexes." He laughed awkwardly and my stomach twisted. The Leo I grew up with used to joke effortlessly. This Leo made it look like work. His gaze lingered on me as I picked up my bowl, and my stomach twisted tighter. If anyone was going to notice the significance of today's date, it'd be Leo. "Hold on a sec, Kay," he said, hurrying past us to the living room. Cloth rustled, the backpack he'd brought back from his parents' place, I guessed. His old home, like mine, didn't have a generator, so he'd been sleeping on the couch here. Gav raised an eyebrow at me, and I shrugged. He knew the short story of Leo's and my friendship, an abbreviated version I'd told him and Tessa after we walked Leo back to the house 2 weeks ago. I'd said I hadn't talked about it before because I'd been so worried about what was happening on the island, which was mostly true. I hadn't brought up how Leo and I had argued and then stopped talking after I'd moved to Toronto from one of Dad's jobs. Not even to Leo. He'd seemed so messed up when he got back. I'd been trying to avoid all painful topics of conversation. Our argument hardly seemed significant, considering the friends and family we'd lost since. But then, on the 4th day, he'd said to me, "We're all right now, aren't we?" Like he was afraid to ask. All I managed to get out was, "I'm sorry that whole fight was my fault." "I'll take half the blame and we'll call it even," he'd replied, and hugged me so tight I lost my breath. And just like that, it didn't matter. But even if we were all right now, I was pretty sure he wasn't. As Gav carried his and Meredith's oatmeal to the table, Leo stepped into the kitchen with one hand behind his back. "Close your eyes," he said with a smile that looked almost real. "Leo," I said, "I don't—" "Come on," he said, "for old times." I had the feeling that if I protested more, his expression was going to stiffen up again, so I closed my eyes, holding my bowl. There was a grating sound and a clink and the soft patter of something dropping onto the